Thank you for joining Wars of the Roses. As we continue with Part 52, Saint-Martin, Book 7, Some Christian Students of the Kabalah, from the Doctrine and Literature of the Kabalah, by Arthur Edward Waite. 15. Saint-Martin. The life and doctrine of Louis Claude de Saint-Martin, the unknown philosopher, who at the end of the 18th century, and amidst the torchlights of the Revolution, diffused in France the higher spirit of mysticism. Having been the subject of a special study, I shall refer to him here only very briefly, for his Kabalistic connections are discussed at some length therein. He was the recipient of an esoteric tradition through Martines de Pasqually, the genesis of which remains undetermined, though it was termed Rosicrucian by his initiator, and is now termed Swedenborgian by his present interpreters in France. It is a tradition which differs very considerably from other presentations of occult doctrine, and in particular it has little in common with what we know or may infer concerning Rosicrucian teaching. In the writings of Pasqually, with which we are acquainted only through some excerpts published by one of Saint-Martin's biographers, and in the catechisms of the Masonic rite propagated by him, which are also most probably his work, the tradition is presented in a very crude manner. It was much developed by Saint-Martin, who indeed brought to it a gift of genius, which was wanting in his instructor. Now, Saint-Martin was a man who cared very little, and does not scruple to say so, for purely traditional doctrines, at least as traditional, nor did he show much deference towards doctors of authority therein. He considered books at best a makeshift method of instruction. Though he wrote many, he preferred learning at first hand from God, man, and the universe. Till he came under the influence of Jacob Boehme, he neither quoted nor possessed authorities, with the exception of the scriptures. He drew, of course, from the source of his initiation, but he never mentions it in any clear manner, except in his correspondence and his life notes, both published posthumously. There is nothing to indicate that he had ever read Kabalistic literature. There is every presumption that he did not. Some of his lesser doctrines possess a Kabalistic complexion. There is that in particular concerning the great name which I have developed at some length in the study to which I have referred, but it has lost all touch with Kabbalism in the hands of Saint-Martin. So also he has a complex system of mystic numbers which suggests the rabbinical notarikon, but it is entirely out of line with all other numerical mysticism, and makes the question of its origin one of the most attractive problems in later occult history. I conclude that Pasqually, whom I take to have been a sincere and perhaps even a saintly man, as his Masonic school was almost a seminary of sanctity, derived from a source which retained some filtrations of Kabbalism, and that they were brought over by Saint-Martin without any historical associations whatever. He has therefore little title to be included among the defenders and expounders of Kabbalistic doctrine, which would have come as a surprise to himself. This is done, however, by French occult writers at this day who seem anxious to annex anyone, from Shakespeare to the author of supernatural religion. And I regret that I must add by one among the rest who, from his position in the modern rite of Martinism, has the opportunity to know differently and the gifts which make use of opportunity. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment, and if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Roses. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.